Welcome back to the Duo on Air podcast. This is a bonus episode number 1, but really episode number 143. But it is our first extra special bonus episode, and we had to do it because it's Halloween. It's Happy Halloween! Woohoo! And we love Halloween. Courtney loves it more than any human I've ever met, maybe. And we just wanted to share a special spooky little Halloween treat with you. Sharing the skeletons in our business closet. Ooh. Everyone's gonna be like, did you murder someone?
We sat here and we were brainstorming what we wanted to do for this episode, and Abby said this, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I would listen to anybody's episode like that. This is so fun. And then I looked at her and I'm like, wait, so these are the things about our business that we don't want people to know about us? And she's like, yeah, kind of, I guess. So here it is.
We're sharing our deepest, darkest secrets with you that we never wanted to share
with anybody,
with anyone,
except for ourselves. Okay,
are you ready?
Yeah, here we go. This is gonna be like kind of a rapid fire one, but like you gotta know the ins and outs. This is us being very authentically ourselves,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so the skeletons in our business closet. The first one. This is probably the number one. Like, this happens a lot. We bitch a lot on Voxer. And if you don't know what Voxer is, it's basically a walkie-talkie app.
It's a mini podcast episode sharing platform.
Yes. And we might have like more bitch sessions on there than we do like actually talking about work. Yeah, I mean, we both just had one this morning as I was on my way here. I think we both just needed to like offload some stuff.
You don't even know what's happening.
No.
It just all of a sudden happens. You're all of a sudden like, wow, this became a vent sesh that I didn't know I needed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you, Voxer, for allowing us to have this
business,
space.
Personal, all the things. So yeah, we like to think we get it off our chest so that we can show up in all the other spaces without that weight.
Yes. So you're
go.
welcome.
Just imagine us behind the scenes. We also work a lot on nights and weekends right now, and we really hate it, and we are determined that this is not going to be forever. But if you sit here and look at us and think like, oh, these girls have it all together, like they're, have good work schedules and work-life balance, like, no.
And their podcast is perfect, and they got their shit together. We feel so far from that.
No, we are. Like, I think it's part of it is like figuring out how to just release the stress and pressure of having to do everything all the time. Mm-hmm. And we think in our heads like, yes, we don't need to work at night, or if we had to wake up early or whatever. But the reality of our situation right now is that we are working at night and we are working on weekends. Yeah. And we hope that's going to end in 2025.
And if we don't work at night, then we're stressed because we know we have to get up early and work extra in the morning. So it's just like this constant battle of like, we work a lot.
Yeah. Or it's just stupid because I'll work while I'm watching TV and I'll be 0% productive.
Yeah.
So that's dumb.
Big goal for 2025. Our third one, we consider the mastermind our biggest business failure.
Pretty much.
Or maybe we can say it was our biggest learning.
It was.
Let's change that.
I mean, I kind of think your biggest failure is your biggest learning.
True. Very true.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the mastermind, which we did a couple podcasts about that, but it was basically when we thought we wanted to be a retained agency, and we didn't like it, and we quit it, and we luckily had very great understanding clients in it that let us quit it when we needed to. But yeah, that was definitely one that we launched it, we hated it, and then we felt super defeated after it.
Yeah.
And it sucked.
But then after we quit it, I think we felt defeated for a while because we felt like we let people down, and we felt like we had this thing that we were going to love, and then we didn't love it. So all of the expectations of it were just shot. And so we felt defeated for a while, but I think now looking back at it, it was the biggest business failure, but it was the best business decision we've ever made was to quit that. Yeah. Because if we would have kept going forward, we'd probably not be very happy individuals. Right?
Yeah. So another definite skeleton. We definitely question whether we're good at what we do often.
How crazy is that to say? Like, I'm sure a lot of business owners feel like this, though. Like, sometimes I think we just sit down and we're like, wow, should I be doing this? Am I good?
Yeah.
And having a business partner is like a blessing because there are days where Abby's like, I don't know if I should be doing this. And I have those same days. And at least we have each other to be like, you know what, Abby, you're the best SEO lady there is out there. Everybody's like blessed to work with you. You're the queen of SEO. And like, she'll like bring me back up from my, low moments too when it comes to branding. But we definitely question, like, should we be doing this?
Yeah, there's definitely, some days it's imposter syndrome, like looking at what other people are doing out there, which again, they're not having an episode like this, sharing their skeletons in their closet, but guarantee you they have some.
Oh, yes.
And I think that's what we forget is we see highlight reels and we just assume that they're doing better than we are. And that's really hard to watch. And I also think sometimes too, like right now from an SEO perspective, I am so far behind on check-ins. Like I have to do people's analytical check-ins, which I love to do 4 to 6 months. Doing those is like a boost of adrenaline because you see real results and it's so exciting. And I'm so far behind on them that I'm like, I need more hours in the day to get caught up. And I know when I do them, I'm going to feel better. But because I haven't done them in a good chunk of time, I'm kind of like, am I good at SEO? I don't know.
She's amazing at SEO. But this is a skeleton that we have in our closet.
I like to think we care too much about what we do, that we want the end result to be so perfect that we just, But
I think it's also a positive. Like, it's a plus that we care too much, right? Because I think people that work with you want you to care probably too much.
About their business. Yeah. Like, we truly care about the improvement.
Yes.
Yeah. So, anyways, if you ever feel like you're not good at what you do, no, you're not alone.
Yes, we both feel that. The next one, this might be something you don't know, or maybe you do. I don't think we talk about it often, but we both have anxiety, a lot of it, and we have to try to figure out how to balance each other out as business partners when it comes to that. So if Abby's having an anxious day, or if I'm having an anxious day, two anxious individuals together do not mix. So we have to decide who gets
the bad days.
Yeah, who gets to have more anxiety and on what day. So we both have anxiety, different levels of it, different kinds, but we both have to kind of figure out how to navigate that together day to day. I mean, anxiety for us is a thing that doesn't just go away. It's not like we just get anxious about one little thing. I think Abby and I have multiple levels of anxiety, and working through that can be a bitch sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably talk about this in a future episode at a different time, but it was, it's probably been 2 months now that I started medication for anxiety, and that was something that was really hard for me to come to terms with, the fact that I needed to, and I am so thankful I did. But I was having, like, a couple months ago, my body was physically reacting. Like, I couldn't breathe. Yeah. Like, I took myself to the ER because of it. Like, there was so many scary things that happened that my body just, like, physically reacted in a certain way. And it was very clear that things needed to change.
Yeah. So we'll probably open up about this more on a different episode. But the anxiety is tough. And I think a lot of people, obviously anxiety is such a lot of people deal with it and struggle with it. And it's just not talked about enough, especially in the small business world. I don't think it's talked about enough.
No. Yeah. And the stresses that we have as small business owners and, moms and all the other things.
And individual.
Friends, wives, everything. Yeah. It's hard. So that might be a whole new episode, but a little something you might not have known about us. Also, anytime, this kind of goes on with what we talked about before, but anytime anyone is like, you guys have it all together, I'm like...
We laugh.
We laugh.
If you could only see the behind the scenes 24/7, we do not have any shit together.
Leading into what I just said. But oh gosh, this next one's for you, Courtney.
It's great that this landed on me. We hate building websites, and we quit. We maybe briefly talked about this in a couple of other podcast episodes. And if we worked on your website, it doesn't mean that we did not like your website. We truly loved all of the clients that we worked on, but we are not efficient. We do not.
It is not that Court isn't good at building websites. She is very good at building websites. They're beautiful.
They just have so many moving parts and pieces, and it was not something I was passionate about. At the end of the day, I just didn't like it, and we have decided that we are done with it.
It was too stressful. Yes. I think if you are a website designer, you need to have a very efficient process. Feedback needs to be very efficient and clean, or you need to have a team there to help you do it, because it is beyond stressful, and a lot goes into building a website, and So anyways, Yep, we don't like it. And we hate that we don't like it because it's such
I wanted
it's
to
a
like
baby.
it. Yeah.
Like Court does branding, I do SEO. That's the baby.
Yeah.
Like branding and SEO make a website. And or I guess not really because you need a website to have SEO, but you get the idea. Whatever.
You know,
they all
they
go
make
together.
love,
They're
they
friends.
make- yeah.
They make love. What? Dear Lord, this is getting. We should have had an explicit. Should we put explicit in the title of this? Oh gosh. But yeah, we really wanted to like it. And at the end of the day, though, we coach web designers and we coach copywriters, and we love being able to refer
Yes.
all of those people that we coach and have people work with them and support their business. And it made us scared because a lot of times people just want to work with one business to do it all. And so we kind of just wanted to make it easy, but at the end of the day, it's not profitable for us, and it doesn't work. So
No.
we'd rather just refer people along, and we've actually been working on a handful of projects like that, like especially from an SEO perspective, and it's been working great. I love partnering with web designers and working on
Yes.
SEO while they build the website, and it's like such a breath of fresh air because the web designer doesn't need to stress about it. I don't need to stress about the website getting done. Like, it's so beautiful. So,
Yes.
yeah.
We tried. We're done.
Yes. Also, even though I would say we're established, I'm using air quotes because established,
Are we
feel
ever
like,
really
yeah,
established?
you're always growing, right? We still freak out about roller coaster of inquiries and revenue month to month, you know? I was actually just talking to someone who's a photographer, and we were talking about how business, basically for photographers, like if you do weddings, you know your revenue for the following year. Like you're able to look at that. And if you don't do weddings and you're all of a sudden shifting to do like branding or to do family sessions or senior sessions or whatever it may be, you all of a sudden aren't planning out as far. So you're all of a sudden only seeing revenue for the first few months. And that's how our business is all the time because we don't run a retained agency. So we only see 3 to 4 months of money at a time.
Yep.
So it does make it hard. Like you have to have a very good system in place and like know the consistency of like, okay, if we do this much in marketing, if we show up on the podcast, if we show up in our email, if we show up in all these places, then we know that's going to bring in this many inquiries. But there's still a roller coaster of things being quiet, and
Or
we
if they
still
get
have
slowed
expenses, and
down.
we're still trying to grow. And yeah, so it's like we definitely feel it. Like we still freak out.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes our Voxer sessions, you know?
Right. And that's probably where people are like, wow, they have their shit together and they've got so many clients and they're doing so great. But it's like, no, sometimes we slow down and that's when we start to freak out a little bit. And so it's a skeleton in our closet.
It is.
Another one, which might be so shocking to a lot of you because it's not really our brand persona. Like it doesn't feel right for our brand, but for our individual lives, we swear a lot more than you hear and see. Little potty mouths over here.
You know what I was just thinking is I only swear with people I feel safe with.
You must feel real safe with me because
I do.
the little F-bombs that come out of your mouth are so cute because if you all know Abby, she's a short little cute thing, and I love it when Abby gets fired up when when the F word is just flying out of her mouth. I'm like,
I use them in times of passion, you know, which is what they're there for.
Yeah.
They're there for passion. But yeah, I question doing it anytime. Like you won't see me do it often in email or even on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I just always like question if it, like I'll use it if it's really needed, like in that point of passion kind of situation.
Yep.
But not over the top. And yeah, I question sometimes like whether it's just necessary. But if I'm just like in a safe environment with my safe people like Courtney and my husband,
It's gonna fly right out. Same.
I have no problem just using it whenever.
Same, girl,
It's fine.
same. Yep. We swear a lot.
And finally, our last skeleton is we still feel like podcast amateurs. Like,
I mean, even up to this morning.
yeah, and this is episode 143. Like, holy smokes. But I think we just now, like within the last few episodes, have finally gotten a 2 mic setup.
Yes.
Which has actually been really hard to figure out how this is going to work. It actually wasn't as hard. We made it way harder than
We totally did.
It was stupid. It was stupid that we took this long to do it. We made it way harder than it needed to be, but finally, I feel like quality is going to be way better because I think it was so hard to record on one mic.
Right. And we didn't totally know that our quality was suffering until we did an audience survey, and we had multiple people say like they love our podcast, but sometimes they had a hard time hearing, me especially.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, this is an issue.
Yeah.
So we had to fix it.
I mean, it was like 2 people, but still, I think, which I see one thing one time and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to fix it.
Yeah, seriously.
we also were like, please, in this audience survey, we're like, please, like, you won't hurt our feelings, tell us anything. And we're
then our
reading
feelings
it and
were
I'm
hurt.
like, oh.
Bunch of liars.
Oh, we are. So there's another skeleton for it too. We care. We care even if you're giving us feedback.
Yes,
but
yes.
we really do appreciate your feedback. Like, we can't
Oh,
improve
yeah.
our business without it. So
Absolutely.
we do appreciate it.
Yes.
So. But anyways, if you like this Halloween treat, let us know. And if there are more skeletons you want us to dust off, if you're curious about something within
Dig out
our
of our
business,
closet.
like, you know we're nothing off limits kind of people. So shoot us a DM.
Ask
and,
away.
We'll check it out.
Woohoo.
Happy Halloween.
If you liked this episode, please be sure to share it with a friend and subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes dropping every Monday. Plus, if you haven't already, please leave us a review and don't hesitate to share any new episode ideas. We love hearing from you and creating this content for you. See you next week.